But listening to all your crazy stories, there's two things that come to mind. Number one is you guys mentioned before we started recording that this is only maybe your second podcast, into the Zoom world. You guys should have like a story time with Rob and Sandy podcast is something that comes to mind. And then the second thing is I'm picturing what my life would have been had I been the singer for the Mudmen. I would have been electrocuted. I would have been date raped, drugged. I would have done 6 sets in one day. I'm thinking about the insanity, and maybe things worked out for the best for all of us. What do you think?
Well, it's funny. I mean, during the time Steve Gore was with us, I mean, we were pretty good. There wasn't too many there's another great Steve Gore story. We played this terrible place in Saskatchewan.
The poor guy. I'm starting to be pretty empathetic to him.
What happened with Steve Gore? I'll let Sam tell the story. But when we were rebranding the band, and so we were going more into the theaters, and that we had to prove ourselves. We had to book the theaters ourselves, make the posters, poster the thing, take a chance at this. Now, but when you go to the West Coast and you're playing the Grey Cup, or you're playing a Celtic festival, or you're doing a bunch of stuff like that, to fill the tour in, we had to play some rough bars. So Steve Gore has, he has paid his dues and earns his stripes, because in Ontario, there isn't that many wild Steve Gore stories. When you go out west and you play the Oil Riggers and Fort McMurray, it's like, oh my God, it's like, it was the things we had to do to survive. Playing Monday, Tuesday night in some rough bar, and that's what you did.
So we were playing in this bar, and we came in to play this bar, and the lady that ran the bar had smoked quite a bit, and she said that she's like, it's only happened 2 times in my whole life, but when she met Steve, she got weak in the knees. She almost went down. She thought he was so hot.
He'll get you.
And so we end up hanging out at the bar, Rob and I, and we get back to this place we're staying, which is not good. And anyway, long and short, I'll make it short. The night that we played the bar comes to an end, and this guy comes back to the place that we're staying at. It's not like a proper hotel or anything. It's like an old place that oil riggers used to sleep at. It was a big
city hall or something
back in the day. It's not a proper place they had a good poker room though. But so anyway, we had a pool table and everything, but we get back after the event, and it's like, oh my God, the lady that's staying there looking after the place, your boyfriend came in there and he got rough with her and threw her all over the place and broke a glass off her head or something. And Steve Gore comes flying down the stairs in nothing but underpants and these Pirate of the Caribbean, they're Harley Davidson boots, right? But he's got these Harley Davidson boots on. They come up right
looking like Johnny Depp here,
and in his underpants, no freaking shirt on or nothing, right? And Mario Boza, who's a great guy too. Well, he had he torn he messed up his knee. I can't say the right word. Meniscus. And so he comes down the stairs hobbling, and so they come down to defend this woman. So anyway, Steve Gore is like, Steve was a good guy that way. He's feisty, He's like, so he let the guy know on no uncertain terms, get out now. And so anyway, poor Mario was his backup on one leg. And so anyway, the guy left, and he apparently there was a few other people that met him outside that were friends, and he may got roughed up a little bit, but then he jumped into his truck and went driving down the road crazy, hammered, and our drummer was walking home, and he's walking down the road, and the next thing he goes, oh my God, and this guy almost drove right over him. So he had to go right down the ditch. The guy put the truck right into a telephone pole and then backed it up. And so he gets back to the place we're staying and says, oh my God, guys, you'll never guess what just happened to me. I almost got ran over by this crazy guy. And so that
you
was,
piece it all together. It's the same guy.
He came in and said, I got the story of the night. And we're like, hey, let's
get in line. Yeah.
Oh, there's been a few times where we were in Saskatchewan again playing this gig, and this one guy, he was crazy, he was nuts. So we had a bunch of Highland dancers and Irish dancers dancing and stuff, and this guy, next thing you know, he's doing handstands with his kilt on with nothing underneath
in the back room. Yeah.
And there's maybe some people that are a little young there, you have to, not appropriate and stuff like that. And the guy was nuts. So Rob comes down to the merch booth and tells me,
Fantastic.
I got the story of the night. And I said, I'll bet you don't. And he tells me the story, what was happening up there. The guy doing handstands with, no underwear on. He wanted to play with the band so bad that he would be willing to do some things I won't mention here on air. And, but then we came down to the merch booth and he gave me an offer that was so over the top. I'm not going to repeat that either. But Rob's like, okay, you got me beat. You win. But
it reminds me of when Flea from the Chili Peppers got on stage naked with just the bass covering him. This was at Woodstock when they redid Woodstock later on. Either it was 94 or 2000 or whatever. I think it was 94 and 1999. So it must have been 99. Flea gets on stage just with the bass. And you think, okay, well, at least he's covered. And then he starts doing cartwheels and you're like, oh no. So anyways, that was memorable.
I'm going to tell you, since you wanted to ask a question about this, I'll tell you two wild stories. I shouldn't, but I guess I will. So we were playing a club down in Halifax and this woman dared a certain member of the band. And the next thing you know, it was like a Zaphods where it becomes a dance club after we play.
Or something.
And so he gets on the stage and the sound man, somebody told the sound man to put the lights on and he got fully naked on the stage and it was over the top. And then he went running down the road.
Back to the hotel
completely naked. And he did a similar thing in Newfoundland. He got naked on stage. The power went down and he got fully naked on stage and put a show on. And the Biff Naked's one of her roadies was holding a flashlight on him, and he did a similar thing in England too, where he's running down the street, nothing but a woman's red thong. However, England and Scotland are much different that way, because even in the pipe band back in the day, pipers would come in wearing nothing but that sporran, that kind of purse thing that's in front of you. They'd come walking in with nothing like that, or just a shirt with long tails. So we saw a lot of wild things even in the pipe bands.
There's no indecent exposure charges laid on any of these.
I don't.
It's rock and roll, baby.
Not on them.
When we were in England, we did the tour with
Love Hate,
and so we went through Great Britain and this and that, and then the little record label that signed us over there decided, let's go and we'll take we'll go back to these same towns that we played with the big band, and we'll do some shows in Mudmen will headline and whatever else. And so we actually surprisingly came back and did well the next time. We didn't see any money for that. We got paid $25, 12 pounds a day.
This paid our own flights over $800 each.
But the band that was
for the whole band, $25.
No, we got paid. We got paid £12 each, but each of us a day. But each of us paid our own flights over, so we spent $800 to go there. So sorry, but
yeah, my math isn't the best. But if you carry the one, you're not retiring anytime soon.
Because sometimes when you sign these record deals and stuff, the carrot is dangled right there, and it's so close. People would think like, well, why would you do this? How could this happen? But it's like the carrot is so close, I can almost reach it. And so you do these things like when we got signed to EMI Records. We were managed by a pretty big manager that managed I'm of the Earth also. We were booked by Feldman's, Canada's largest booking agency, and we were paid $25 each a show for 4 years. We opened for the Guess Who, 30,000 people, Finger 11, 20,000 people. We had 6 music videos on Much Music. We were number 19 on the Edge Radio, things like that. So you think, oh, there's this hope, you're going to get it
the back
on the back end, and we got it on the back end, all right.